Yes, sir. Good morning, all of you, and welcome to the online session of microprocessors and microcontrollers class. In today's class, we will discuss the next category of instruction set, that is arithmetic instructions. So, in the previous class, we discussed the first category, that is data transfer instructions, and we will continue that with the second category, that is arithmetic instructions. Okay. As the name specifies, the following group of instructions, that means the instructions that fall under this category, performs the arithmetic operations. Okay, we all know what are different arithmetic operations: addition, subtraction, increment, decrement, multiplication, division. Okay, so these are all the different arithmetic operations that we have been doing from childhood, right? So in this category, we will see those instructions. Okay, those instructions, how they are framed, and what are all different operations that occur during that arithmetic operations that we will see in this category. Say, from the slide you can see that the different arithmetic operations are mentioned here. So the first one is add. ADD means what? Add. Next one is ADC. ADC means what? Addition with carry. Addition with carry. Okay. So and the next one is subtraction, and the next one is subtraction with borrow. Subtraction with borrow. Okay. And the next one, INC means increment operation. DEC means decrement operation. MUL means multiplication operation, and DIV means division operation. Okay. So the next last category is CMP, which is comparison operation. Okay. So these are all some of the instructions. Okay. Not all the instructions are being covered here in the class. The main instructions coming under this category are being covered. Okay. These are some of the instructions that comes under this arithmetic instruction category. Okay. So let us now see in detail how these instructions are framed and what are all different operations that occur when this instruction is being executed. Okay. Coming to the first one, add. Add. Okay. So we can use this add instruction. We can use this add instruction uh, for between registers, or between register and a memory, or memory and a register. Okay. So those are all the possibilities. The first category is either between two registers, or between register and a memory, or between a memory and a register. Okay. And what all you can see here, these are all ADC. What do you mean by ADC? What do you mean by ADC? ADC means addition with carry. Addition with carry. Okay. We'll perform the add operation with carry. That means what? Suppose if you are adding two bits, if you are adding two data, let us say 0, 7 and 0, 4. Okay. Let us say if we are adding these two means, when you get a carry, okay, 0, 7 can be written in the binary form, and 0, 4 can be written in the binary form. When you are adding these two bits, if you get the extra bit, that is called what? Carry. That is called what? Carry. If you add this carry once again to the result, then it is called addition with carry. Then it is called what? Addition with carry. In the normal addition operation, we neglect this carry. But when you use this ADC, the carry which we got will get added automatically to the result. That is the difference between normal add ADD and ADC. Okay. So ADC represents here what? Addition with carry. ADC register to register 1 means what? The data that is present in register 1 will get added with the data in the register 2. Suppose 07 is present in the register 2, sorry, register 1, let us say. Okay, register 1. Then 04 is present in register 2, let us say. Okay. Okay. So the data that is present in the register 1 will get added with the data that is present in the register 2. That is the meaning of ADC. And if the result is producing, if this addition result is producing a carry, then that particular carry which we obtain will get added to the result here. Automatically that procedure will be carried out when we use ADC only, but when we use add, that particular operation is not carried out. The carry that was obtained will be neglected. That you have to keep in mind. Similarly, the same operation, but between register and memory. What happens here? The second data or the source data will be present in the memory here. Here we don't use register in the second instruction. We use memory. We use what? Memory. Some address location. Okay. Some address location, right? So in that particular address location, we'll have this data. Okay. The data which is present in the memory location will now get added with the data that is present in the register here. Okay. And similarly, the third instruction represents what? The data present in the register will now get added with the data that is present in the memory. Okay. So those operations you can see here. They are clearly given here. Those operations you can see here. Okay. In the first instruction, the data present in the two registers will get added, and the result will be stored where? In register 2. And the result will be stored in register 2. Always you have to remember that the destination register or the destination operand will have the result of arithmetic operations. The destination register will have the result of the arithmetic operation. This is one important point that you have to keep in mind. Okay. So in the first instruction, the data present in both the registers, source register and destination registers, will get added, and the result will be stored in the destination register. Similarly, in the second instruction, the data present in the memory and the register will get added, and the result will be stored in the destination operand, which is register 2. Similarly, in the third instruction, the data present in the register 1 and memory location will get added, and the result will be stored in the destination operand, which is memory. Okay. Hope you all understood this point. Coming to the next category, addition instruction. Addition instruction is as similar to that of this ADC, but the only difference is what I told you, that the carry obtained in the addition operation will be neglected. That is what exactly happens here. See, here in this instruction represents that the data, immediate data, will get added to the data that is present in the register. Okay, the data which is an immediate data will get added to the data that is present in the register, and the result will be stored in the register itself. Okay, that data might be either 8-bit data or a 16-bit data. Okay, so I'll write an example in order to give you more clarity. See, add suppose I am using 8-bit data. I use 8-bit register. Add AL comma 0 8. let me, oh, sorry. So these are the things. This is the example. See, this is the example. So in this instruction, what we are doing, we are adding this 08, which is the direct data. Okay. So this 08 is added to the data that is present in the AL register. Okay, AL register. That means AL register will have 8-bit data only because we are using 8-bit data here. This AL register also will contain 8-bit data. Both the 8-bit data will get added and the result will be stored in this AL register itself, which is the destination operand. Destination operand. Okay. Similarly, the next instruction, if you see, add memory comma data. Add memory comma data. That means here in place of register, you will have an address. You will have an address which gives you the memory location. Which gives you the memory location. Okay. So the data, okay, the direct data will get added to the data that is present in the memory location, and the result will be stored in the memory location itself. That is the meaning of this thing here. Okay. Similarly, the same thing here, add a comma data, add a comma data. Here any register can be used. Okay, here in this particular segment we can use any of the registers that we have, but here he is directly specifying only accumulator register. He is only specifying the accumulator register. So you can consider this as an example here. Okay. Here the 8-bit data will get added to the data present in the AL register, and similarly here the 16-bit data will get added to the 16-bit data present in the AX register, because AX register will hold 16 bits and AL register will hold only 8 bits. That is about add and ADC instructions. Okay. Hope this category is clear to you. Let us move on to the next thing here. See, this is about ADC here. Okay. And I think this is only add. This is a printing mistake here. Just a minute. This is printing mistake. I think this is add. Okay, this is add, not ADC. This is add. This is add. Okay. Okay. Right. The next category will be now ADC. Okay. Okay. So in ADC, you can see the same thing here. The operand section is not changed. The operand section is not changed. You can see the same operand section, but in the operation, you can see here the operation. The carry flag is also added. The carry flag is also added here. Okay. Here you can see that the carry flag is also added to the data. But here in the previous slide, if you see, here we don't find any carry flag. Okay, this is add. Okay, this is a printing mistake here. This is not ADC. This is add. Okay, so when you are using add instruction here in the operations, you don't see any carry flag. But when you are using ADC, here you can see carry flag here. Okay, that is the difference between add and IDC. That was what I am trying to explain you. Okay, hope the thing is clear. The same instruction, the same operand section, but the only difference is opcode section will be different. Okay, The opcode section will have ADC, that means addition with carry. Okay, the data that is present in the register 2 will get added to the register 1 along with the carry flag. If carry flag is containing 0, that will be added. If carry flag is containing 1, that will also get added. If you add 0, nothing will get changed. But if you add 1, the result will change. Okay, so that is the thing. Next instruction, second instruction is the data present in the memory will get added to the register 2 along with the carry flag and get stored in the register 2. Coming to the third instruction, the data present in the register 1 will get added to the data present in the memory, and the result will be stored in the destination operand, which is memory, along with the carry flag. Okay. Similarly, direct data. Okay, so the direct data will get added to the data present in the register section, and the result will be stored in the register along with the carry flag addition. Okay, so this one, ADC memory comma data. Okay, that means the direct data will get added to the data present in the memory location along with the carry flag, and the result will be stored in the memory location. Okay, similarly, the same with the AL and AX register. Okay, so this is the difference between add and ADC instructions. Hope you are clear with this. Okay, add means direct addition operation. Even if you get any carry in the operation, that will not be considered. That means that will be neglected. But when you use ADC, your carry flag will also be considered. That means if you get a carry, that carry will get added to the addition result. Okay, let us move on to the next category, that is subtraction operation. Subtraction operation, you know how subtraction will be performed, but you have to understand here that I'll tell you. Wait. So first thing is a subtraction between registers, and subtraction between the second thing is subtraction between data that is present in memory and register, and subtraction between register and memory location. Okay, so here the positions are different here. Okay, but I'll give you an explanation of how subtraction operation takes place. Okay, generally subtraction means what we will do, we'll just do 7 minus 6. We'll do 7 minus 6. That is what the subtraction operation that we generally do, right? But inside microprocessor, this is not the process that happens. What happens is, this is called subtrahend, right? This is called subtrahend. Okay. So this subtrahend, for this subtrahend, what we will do is, first we will perform 2's complement. 2's complement. Okay, 2's complement, and then the 2's complemented subtrahend will get added to this 7. Will get added to this 7. Then we will get the subtraction result. That is the process. Right. So this entire process is called what? 2's complement subtraction. This entire process is called what? 2's complement subtraction. This you might have studied in your digital logic design. Okay, this you might have studied in your digital logic design. You know, a 2's complement subtraction, 1's complement subtraction, 9's complement subtraction, 10's complement subtraction, right? So you might have studied different types of subtractions. Okay, so depending upon the base of the what you can say, base of the number system, you will perform the subtraction method. Okay, as the microprocessor uses binary form. Okay, as the microprocessor uses binary number system, here the subtraction will use 2's subtraction, 2's complement subtraction. Okay, The microprocessor uses binary number system. That is why here we use 2's complement subtraction process. So what did I tell you? The subtrahend will be converted into 2's complement form. You know how to perform 2's complement. First we will perform 1's complement. 1's complement means what? If there is 1, that is complemented to 0. If there is 0, that is complemented to 1. Okay, we'll take the opposite of it. Okay. So if it is 0, we'll take it, we'll convert that as 1. If it is 1, we'll convert that into 0. That is what called 1's complement, right? So for that 1's complemented number, we'll add 1. We'll add what? 1. That gives you 2's complement. 2's complement of that particular number. That 2's complement of that 2's complemented number will be added to the subtrahend. Okay. So when that subtrahend, that addition will give you subtraction result. This is what the internal process of subtraction happens inside the process. Okay. So now keep that in mind. Okay. When you are talking about subtraction inside the microprocessor, you have to keep that in mind. Okay. 2's complement subtraction will be conducted. Okay. Right. So coming to the first instruction, if you see here, the data present in the register 2 will be subtracted from the data that is present in the register 1. That means for the data that is there in the register 2, for the data that is there in the register 2, we will perform what? 2's complement. We will perform what? 2's complement. Okay. Okay. We will perform 2's complement. Right. So, and the result will be stored in the register 2 as always. Okay. So always you have to remember the point that the result of all the arithmetic operations will get stored in the destination operand. Destination operand. I am repeating the important points once or twice. Okay. So please try to note them at a notebook, or try to remember these things. These are all important points, right? Similarly, the next instruction tells you that the data present in the memory, will be subtracted from the data that is present in the register 2. That means the 2's complementing will be done for the data present in the memory. Okay. Okay. And similarly, the third instruction tells you that the data present in the register will be subtracted from the data that is present in the memory. That means that 2's complementing will be done for the data present in the register 1. Okay. Similarly, here the second category, sub register comma data, tells you that the direct data which is given in the instruction will get subtracted from the data that is present in the register. Okay. This data will get subtracted from this data present in the register. That means this data will be 2's complemented. Okay. This data will be 2's complemented. That means you have to understand that the source operand, okay, the source operand data will undergo 2's complementation process. The data which is present in the source operand position, okay, the data which is present in the source operand position will undergo the 2's complementing procedure. Similarly, here the data given in the instruction will get subtracted from the data that is present in the memory. That is the meaning of this instruction. Okay. This is the generalization process. Okay. You can use any register here. You can use any memory location here. Similarly, you can use any of the registers that we have in the microprocessor system. Similarly, you can use any of the memory location here. Okay. So that is what called generalization. And similarly, the data with the AX register. Okay. The data with AX register and data with the AL register. Okay. Same process. This is about subtraction. The next one is subtraction with borrow. Subtraction with borrow. This is similar to this addition with carry. Okay, so in addition we'll get a carry, but in subtraction what we will get? We'll get a borrow. In subtraction what we will get? Borrow. Okay, so that is why we use subtraction with borrow. That means what? in the in the sub instruction we neglect the borrow that we get. We neglect the borrow that we get. But when you use SBB, the borrow that was obtained will also be considered and put into calculation again. Okay. Let us see that. See here. Sir, how do we identify the borrow? We identify through carry flag itself. Borrow is nothing but what? Carry. Borrow is nothing but what? Carry. Why carry, sir? Why carry? Because the 2's complemented number, okay, suppose the data present in the register will undergo what? 2's complement. The 2's complemented number is now added with the data present in the register 1. Okay, that means what? Indirectly we are performing the addition operation in order to obtain the subtraction operation. Okay, here indirectly we are performing the addition operation in order to obtain the subtraction operation. So that is how the carry flag will be considered as a borrow. That is why we consider the carry flag as a borrow. Hope the point is clear now, right? So in all the instructions, the previous procedure is same, but the only extra point that you have to keep in mind is here the carry flag will also get subtracted. Here the carry flag will also get subtracted. That means we are also considering the carry flag. That means borrow. Okay. So all the operations are same here, but the only difference is the carry flag, which indicates the borrow. Okay. If we get borrow, that borrow will also get subtracted. If we take borrow, that borrow will also get subtracted. That means what? If there is 10, if you take borrow, what we have to do? We have to consider this as only 9. That is the process we do, right? So that borrow, okay, that borrow will be considered as a carry flag, and we also include that in the operation. We do not neglect that. But when you use this SUB, the borrow will be neglected. But when you use SBB, the borrow will not be neglected. Okay, so that is about subtraction operation. Coming to the next category, increment and decrement operations. See here, this is very much simple in order to understand. You know, increment means what? It will be incremented by 1. Okay. So whatever the operand consists, and see here, the examples are given here. Increment register 8, increment register 16, increment memory. Okay, so for example, let us say INC. Let us say I am saying AL. I am saying AL. It is not delta L, it is AL. Sorry. Okay, it is AL. So what does this tell us? Okay, that means AL register is containing a data. AL register is containing a data. What is the data? Let us suppose that AL register is containing some 0, 0. Let us say, okay, for example. Okay, so now when you use this instruction INCAL, the data that is present in the AL register will be incremented by one value. That means now what will be the content of AL register? 0, 1 0 1. Okay, that is the meaning here. Always when you specify the register in the instruction means the contents of the register will be affected. That you have to understand. Similarly, what is he telling here? Incrementer register 16. That means here we have to use 16-bit register. Here we have to use what? 16-bit register. Okay. So 16-bit register means what? You can go with AX. You can go with what? AX. Okay. Okay. So that now what happens? The contents of the 16-bit AX register will be incremented by 1. Will be incremented by 1. Okay. Similarly, increment memory. That means what? We have to specify memory location here. How do we specify memory location? How do we specify a memory location? 1 0 9 6, let us say. This is the memory location. This is the memory location, like let us say 1096H. Okay. If we specify like this, does this indicate a memory location? This does not indicate a memory location. Why? Because when we are trying to specify this as a memory location, we have to indicate like this. We have to indicate the thing in the bracket. Then only the microprocessor understands this as a memory location. This as a memory location. Unless until we specify this thing in between memory brackets, the microprocessor treats this as a data. Okay. In order to make the microprocessor understand this as the memory location, we have to specify this in the bracket. Okay. So now what happens? This is a memory location containing some data. Okay. So that particular data will be incremented by one value. That particular data will be incremented by one value. That is the meaning of this particular instruction. Same as the increment operation, we also have decrement operation. In this process, what happens? The data present in the register or the memory location will be decremented by one value. That is indicated here. You can see. Okay. Here, the data will be decremented by one value. Okay. The contents of the 8-bit register, the contents of the 16-bit register, or the contents of the memory location, whatever the operand that we specify here, in the instruction, that particular content, okay, content of the operand will be either decremented by 1 or incremented by 1 depending upon the instruction you use. If you use INC, the content will be incremented by 1. If you use decrement operation, the content will be decremented by 1. That is the meaning of these things here. Okay. Next thing here, multiplication operation. The next instruction is what? Multiplication operation. Okay. So what happens here? Multiplication operation. So you can use MUL register. You can use MUL multiplication. Okay. So you can use MUL register or you can use MUL memory location. Okay. So what happens here? Always the register data. Okay. The register data. You can see here. Here we have only one register specified. Here we have only one operand specified. But you can see here, this is a little bit confusing. Just try to understand this very carefully. Here in the instruction, you can see a single operand specified. Okay, this is a single operand. But in the operation, you can see two registers. Okay, that means the register specified in the instruction along with the AL register. That means by default, you have to understand that the accumulator register, the A register or the accumulator register will contain another value. Okay, when you are conducting multiplication process, you will have multiplier and multiplicand. You will have multiplier and multiplicand. Suppose let us say we are performing 2 into 3. Okay, we are performing 2 into 3. Okay, so one is what? Multiplier, and this is what? Multiplicand. 3 is multiplier and 2 is what? Multiplicand. Okay, so always the multiplicand will be present in the AX register. That means accumulator register. Accumulator register. That is what you have to understand. Okay, so we are only specifying the location of this multiplier. We are only specifying the location of this multiplier using this operand in the instruction. Okay, hope the point is clear to you now. Okay, always by default, when you are using multiplication instruction, A register or accumulator register will hold the multiplicand value. Okay, A register or the accumulator register will hold the multiplicand value. Okay, the operand which is specified in the instruction will hold the multiplier value, right? See here. After clearing that, you can see that if it is a 8-bit register, okay, here in the instruction we used MUL register na. If the register is 8-bit register, if the register is 8-bit register, then we use 8-bit A register, 8-bit A register. After multiplication, we may get 8-bit or we may get more than 8-bit also. Okay, if you multiply 2 and 5, then we are using only 2 and 5, single digit numbers. But after multiplication, we will get 10. We will get 10. That means see here, 2 into 5. 2 into 5. See. 2 into 5 gives you what? 10, which is a 2-digit number. But we used what? Only single digit numbers for multiplication process. But the result produced a 2-digit number. That is why, okay, that is why we use 16-bit register, because two 8-bit numbers can produce a single 8-bit number or a 16-bit number. Okay, there is a chance of 16-bit number. So that is why the result is always stored in the AX register, which is a 16-bit one. Suppose if you are using 16-bit register, if the register is 16-bit register, the multiplicand will be stored in the 16-bit AX register. The multiplicand will be stored in the 16-bit AX register. Okay, so as we are using two 16-bit data that may produce either 16-bit or more than 16-bit. That is why we use both DX register and AX register for result storing. Okay. Similarly, the same instruction for MUL memory. Here we are using memory as the operand. For storing the multiplier value. Always the multiplicand here also will be stored in the AL register only. That means A register, which is accumulator. Okay. The same thing here. The data present in the memory, 8-bit memory, will be multiplied with the data present in the accumulator. Similarly, the data present in the memory, 16-bit memory, will be multiplied with the data present in the AX register. Here the result will be stored in the AX register. Here the result will be stored in the DX and AX register. Okay. And similarly, IMUL. What is this IMUL? Okay. IMUL represents signed multiplication. That means this MUL does not bother about the sign. That means here if you use 2 into -3, 2 into minus 3. Then this minus is not bothered in this MUL instruction, Okay. But when you use this IMUL, this minus is also bothered. That means we are performing signed multiplication. We are performing what? Signed multiplication. Okay. So the same operation, but here we are including this sign factor here. How do we include this sign factor? By including one extra bit here. We have sign flag now. Okay. By using that one extra bit here, we will use this sign indication. Okay. The same operations will take place, but the only difference is here we are considering the sign operation also. That is about the multiplication instruction. Okay. Hope the things are going into our mind. Okay. Let us proceed to the division operation. The time is running out. Okay. Same thing here. Same thing. So in division operation also, by default, we use the what you can say AX register. By default, we use AX register as one of the operands. Okay, as one of the operands, and we'll have only one thing specified, one operand specified in the instruction, similar to the multiplication operation. Okay, we have when you take a division operation, you will have divisor and dividend. You'll have what? Divisor and dividend, right? So the divisor only specified in the instruction. The dividend is always specified in the A register. Okay, dividend, DD, divisor, DR. Okay, so the divisor is specified in the instruction. The dividend is always there in the A register. That you have to remember. Okay, the dividend is always there in the accumulator. The divisor is only specified in the instruction, either it is in the memory or in the register. Okay, so for 8-bit register, we use AX register. For 8-bit register, we use AX or AL register, and it is stored in the AL. Okay. Okay. And for division, we will get two results now. For division operation, we'll get two results. One is quotient and other one is remainder. Where do you save those quotients and remainders? Where do you save these quotients and remainders? The quotient will always be stored in the AL format, AL register, and the remainder is always stored in the AH register. Okay, AH register. The quotient will always be stored in the AL register, and the remainder will always be stored in the AH register. Okay. This is for 8-bit and this is for 16-bit here. Okay. For 16-bit, the quotient will be stored in the AX register and the remainder will be stored in the DX register. Okay. For quotient, what you can say, for 16-bit, the quotient will be stored in the AX register and the remainder will be stored in the DX register. Okay. So that is the thing you have to remember. Okay. So what are all the operations that takes place for a division operation? That is none of your business. But the only thing is you have to identify the source location and destination location. That means for performing the division operation, you need to give inputs. One is dividend and the second one is divisor. The dividend will always be stored in the accumulator, which is A register. Okay, the dividend will always be stored in the accumulator or A register. Only thing you have to specify is the divisor location. The divisor location is either a register or a memory location. Okay. After that, you have to identify the result location where the result will be stored. For division operation, you will get two results. One is quotient result, another one is remainder result. The quotient will always be stored in AL for 8-bit, and the remainder will be stored in the AH for 8-bit operation. If it is a 16-bit operation, the quotient will be stored in the AX register and the remainder will be stored in the DX register. Okay. So similarly, the same operation for the memory also. Okay. If the divisor is present in the register, this is the thing. If the divisor is present in the memory location, then also it is the same operation and same location. But the only thing is the source will get changed. The source will get changed. The dividend will always be there in the accumulator, whether it is a memory location or a register location. Okay. Only difference will be what? The divisor location will get changed. The divisor will be sometimes located in the register, will be sometimes located in the memory. That is the only difference. Okay. Here this is unsigned division. The next category will be signed division. Signed division. Okay. Just stay with me for 5 minutes. I'll conclude this. Okay. Right. So here what we will do is we will also consider the sign of the divisor or sign of the dividend. Okay. So this sign will also be considered here. Okay. That is the thing. No other difference you can see in the operations here. Okay. The sign flag will also be considered. Based on that, we'll perform the operations. Okay. So the remaining operations will be same. The storage of quotient, the storage of remainder, the storage of dividend, the storage of divisor. Okay. All the locations will be same. Okay. But the only difference is what? Here we will consider the sign of the number, sign of the dividend, sign of the divisor, sign of the quotient, sign of the remainder. Okay. So all those things will be considering here. Okay. Next important instruction that you will come across is compare. Compare. Okay. So this is one of the important instructions, and you will be using these compare instructions many times in your program for different conditions, for verifying different conditions. Okay. So this is one of the important instructions. Nothing. Okay. This instruction is very simple. Just a subtraction operation. Just subtraction operation. See here, you are comparing things means what? Just subtraction operation. See, compare. You can compare the data present in the register 2 with the data present in the register 1. Okay, that means you will have some data in the register 1 and you will have some data in the register 2. Both the data will get compared. So comparison means what? What we will do is the data here it is mentioned. See, the data present in the register 1 will get subtracted with the data present in the register 2. Okay, so that it is indicating what? Subtraction operation. After this operation, what happens? How do we identify that comparison? How do you identify the comparison means what? If the register 2 data is greater than the register 1 data, that means if the data present in the register 2 is greater than the data present in the register 1, then what we will do? Then how it is indicated? The carry flag will be 0, the 0 flag will be 0, and the sign flag will also be 0. Okay, so by identifying the flag register, you can identify the comparison here. If the data present in the register 1 is less than, sorry, greater than, the data present in the register 2 is less than register 1, then what we will have is the carry flag will be 1 and the sign flag will be what? 1. Okay, so that is how we are indicating here. If both are equal means what? then you will get a 0, because when you are subtracting 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, what will happen? It will produce a 0 result. It will produce a result, 0 result. When any arithmetic operation produces a 0 result, then 0 flag will get what? Set. The 0 flag will get set. That is the meaning here. If you are performing the same operation for this, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1, what happens? You will get 1. You will get 1, which is a positive one. Then you don't get any carry flag. We don't get any 0 flag. We don't get any sign flag, because it is a positive number. Sign flag will get set for only negative number. Sign flag will get set for only negative number. Suppose if you are performing 1 minus 2, 1 minus 2 means what? 1 minus 2 means what? Register 2 is less than register 1. So register 2 is having 1 and register 1 is having 2. So 1 minus 2 we are performing is what? Carry flag will get set, because we'll get borrow. Okay, we'll get borrow, and 0 flag will not get set because we don't get a 0 result. The result will be what? Minus 1. As we are getting a minus 1, the sign flag will also get set. Okay, so that is how we identify the comparison. Okay, that is how we identify the comparison here, based on the flags, based on the flag values. Okay, so same thing here, comparison between the data present in the memory and the register. That means what? We'll subtract the data that is present in the memory with the data present in the register. Okay, so the same thing we'll here, the same thing we'll do. The same conditional flags we'll identify here. Through that, we'll identify which is greater and which is lesser. And similarly, compare memory comma register. That means what? We'll compare the data present in the register with the data present in the memory. That means we'll subtract the data present in the register 1 with the data present in the memory. Okay, the same operations and the same conditions we'll check for the comparison. Okay, so that is about I think the end of arithmetic operation. Okay, the same thing, compare register comma data. Okay, that means we can use direct data also. We can use what? Direct data also. Okay, direct data also. The conditions will remain same only. The conditions won't be changing. But the operand, okay, the source operand and destination operand will get changed. The source operand and destination operand will be changing for every instruction. That means these are the ways. These are the ways in which we can use that particular instruction. These are the different ways here. Okay. Hope the arithmetic operations are clear to you. If you still have any data, you can ask me in the next class. Okay, because the time was already finished now. The next faculty might be waiting for you. So I'll stop here for today.